What's good, everybody? I hope it's a lot. American billionaire Charlie Munger, who has been Warren Buffett's best friend and business partner for 6 decades, is openly calling for Chinese-style communism in the USA. Russian leaders have said long ago that the United States will fall to communism without one shot being fired. And unless we combat people like Charlie Munger, that's going to happen. So let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say on June 30th, 2021, and discuss why it's plain out wrong and very dangerous.
What interests me in this is the communist Chinese behave the way I am talking in favor of. And our own wonderful free enterprise economy is letting all these crazy people go to this gross excess. The people are not avoiding it are the communist Chinese. They step in preemptively to stop speculation.
Charlie, you said communist China is doing all the things that we should be doing right now, and I can't help but think of what they've done to Jack Ma.
That amuses me,
Well, what about what they've done to Jack Ma? He's kind of disappeared.
Well, yes, but Jack Ma's one of the swingers. So they just they said, the hell with you. He basically gave a speech when he said to a one-party state, well, you guys are a bunch of jerks, don't know what you're doing, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it better. And he was going to wade into banking and no rules and just do whatever he pleased.
He also brought banking to a lot of
the Chinese communists did the right thing. They just called in Jack Ma and say, you aren't going to do it, Sonny. And I wish we had I don't want all of the Chinese system, but I certainly would like to have the financial part of it in my own country. But some people did better than we did. Again, the Chinese, simply totalitarian state.
That was just awful to listen to. So, what is the real reason for China's economic success, and who is Jack Ma? First, it goes without saying that Charlie Munger is a huge fan. He actually loves the Federal Reserve, federal regulators, and other bureaus. He is a rhino who supports Medicare for all and other socialist initiatives. The guy must have read a lot of finance books, but not a lot of history books. Now, when he calls Jack Ma a swinger, what he means is Jack Ma was exercising his freedom of speech that he doesn't really have in China, something that makes Munger happy. He has said before, time and time again, that he doesn't like free speech. But let's dive in. Jack Ma was the richest man in China. He created Alibaba Group from his small Chinese apartment in 1999 and grew that to the largest. It's similar to Amazon, but bigger. He grew it to the largest online e-commerce platform in the world. Again, that's Alibaba. It has other sub-companies that resemble eBay. You might have heard of AliExpress before. So this man is responsible for bringing low-cost goods, both needs and wants, to millions of people throughout China and the world, obviously benefiting their lives and creating thousands of jobs in the process. It's individuals like Jack Ma who are responsible for bringing China out of poverty, not the Chinese Communist government and not totalitarian methods as Mr. Munger thinks. Ma was born in 1964 and, now this is key, he was 14 years old when China started opening up their economy under the Adam Smith admirer and capitalism-loving Deng Xiaoping. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the real reason for China's economic success. Someone needs to give Charlie Munger that lesson. Share this video to help spread the word. So like all successful entrepreneurs, Jack Ma wanted to create something more. So he went on to establish a private lending firm known as Ant Group, which does loans to the poor and middle class in China, which are no to little collateral, maybe high-risk loans, but it became extremely successful at making money for both Ant Group and the people they lend money to. You see, capitalism is really nothing more than good ideas backed by funding, but the freedom, and that's crucial, with the freedom to pursue them. Ant Group was scheduled to be IPOed in November of 2020 and was expected to be one of the largest, if not the largest, IPO in history, especially out of the Shanghai Stock Exchange. Now, a few days before the IPO, Ma gave a speech at the 2020 Bund Summit. Now, there was a lot of bank and regulatory people present from China at this meeting, but Ma spoke non-aggressively and actually with great respect towards President Xi and China as a whole. Ma began by saying he wanted to share thoughts and views just to ponder that might improve China. Big mistake, apparently. Basically, he said that there are too many big banks in China. It's not good that they're all centrally controlled. and that they rely on sort of a pawn shop collateral system rather than a data-based credit system. But his main point was that there is way too much regulation. He said that innovation comes from freedom in the marketplace, which is true, and too much regulation makes it difficult to create and prosper. Well, the very next day, Ma was invited to meet with Chinese regulatory agencies. He was accused of running his businesses in an irregular and overly risky way by the same people that just approved his IPO a few days prior, and then, poof, Jack Ma disappeared. He was gone. And without any warning. For example, Ma ran a TV show, sort of a game show for businesses in Africa, similar to Shark Tank, and just unexpectedly, he wasn't there, didn't show up. The Ant Group IPO was canceled and is now being forced to follow regulations and guidelines that literally destroy the already successful business model that is really helping a lot of people. Further, Alibaba Group is now being attacked with numerous antitrust laws and new regulations. And Charlie Munger thinks this is fantastic. He thinks it's great. Jack Ma is a man who is responsible for the great increase in quality of life, standard of living of China, and literally brought the country out of the dark ages. A few years ago, he actually retired from Alibaba and dedicated himself to philanthropy, like Andrew Carnegie, which is extremely rare in China. So this man created a massive e-commerce platform that benefited his country and the world, walked away from it to again use his money to benefit his country and the world, and most recently created a company that provides access to capital to middle class and poor people and businesses so that they too can join in the shared prosperity of capitalism. Yet communists both in China and America, even around the world, want to eliminate this man, people like him, and their free-thinking ideas. And let me say, if you haven't heard of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, you need to. Who is John Galt? Who is Jack Ma? You see, great men with great ideas who push society forward are being hampered, and therefore societal growth is being hampered by self-righteous, ignorant, power-hungry, regulation-obsessed tyrants like Charlie Munger, and also by the Communist Party and socialists and Marxists around the world. Again, it was Deng Xiaoping who brought economic freedom to China in 1978, which is the core reason for China's economic success today. Again, get the word out there because people like Charlie Munger don't know this. However, more and more, China is turning further and further away from their free markets. Even a few decades ago, people said that there was less regulation in China than there was in America. That's why a lot of business moved there. Now, there is a term known as late-stage capitalism, which basically acknowledges that socialism, economic communism, and Marxism simply does not work and always results in poverty and pain. So the plan of late-stage capitalism is to use free markets at first for a few decades to build wealth and then slowly convert to total communism. That's exactly what China is doing, and that is exactly what many people in America and around the world want for the United States and the world as a whole. Now this shift from freedom to control will stifle growth, destroy innovation, and further prove that central control and big governments cannot sustain economic prosperity. The Chinese and the world will just have to learn this lesson over again and again. Now, very important, if Jack Ma was American, maybe he wouldn't disappear, but look what happened to John McAfee. At the least, Ma would be attacked with BS tax and antitrust laws that's really just saying A, you're too successful, and B, you're not using your success to further our agenda like the big tech does, Jeff Bezos does, and clearly Charlie Munger does. The sad truth is that the USA is heading down the path of China, and only you and I, we the people, can get this ship turned around. Thank you for watching. This is Freedom First Entertainment and Education, fighting for a new free world. Find us anywhere online, Freedom First E&E. Visit our website, freedomfirstee.com. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe to join the free world gang. Make it a good day.